Countdown is well and truly on now, Nav.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's full on, Tony. It's all kind of coming together. But I feel like I've been so active this year. It's good.
How many fights have you had? Because
This will be my fourth fight in like 6.5 months. So yeah, that's why as active as I'd like to be. At least four fights in a year, for sure. But yeah, now I'm in the promotion to do it and showcase my skills and get better. But yeah, outside of the UFC, it was just like we were waiting for years, most of my interviews were about any fights coming in, so it's finally good we're there.
And did you have enough time in between your last fight and this one coming up?
Yep, I definitely did. I had like 12 to 13 weeks, so I could phased out my training leading up to it. So I've had a good long camp, and yeah, I feel like I had like a good base coming off every fight, and now it was just sharpening it and making use of all the weapons that I have to show. Like I feel like I've got so much of my game to just try out, and get the ring time, get the cage time to just show everyone how good I am.
Now that you've made it, like into where you wanted to go, mentally, is it feel different going into this fight than any fight beforehand? Is it, or there's more pressure, or or are you satisfied with it?
Yep. I think because I've always been like a big draw, like maybe just through like promoting myself like a big draw, people like really take my fight serious, everyone I've ever fought, I feel like I've fought the best version of them. They really, because I drive that fear factor into a lot of these guys. Like I think they feel it, and they watch all my footage and they try to figure out what I'm about and what kind of moves I like to throw. And yeah, I've just kind of seen it. Like when I watch like some of the Hex fights or like I remember fighting on Hex, and I saw some footage just before I went out of like the other guy like practicing the kick, just before I'd go out, like countering like some of my main weapons, and yeah, it's now we're at that level where it's not just we train hard and get in there and have a fight. Like the cornermen are way smarter, fighters are way smarter, everyone is in like athletic shape. That professional environment now is like full on, and because I've over the years carried myself like that, like a professional athlete, even right as an amateur, and trying to study opponents and whatnot, I feel like I'm ready for that environment now. So yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned something that I was going to pick up on was the camps and everything with the other team. They've done a lot more study on what you are. Have you always stuck to the game plan when you've gone out there before, and is it going to be so much more important to stick to the game plan this time around?
Yep. Yeah, I feel like I have a presence of mind when I'm in there, and I'm able to follow a game plan, and just like I understand what their patterns are or what they like to do, and then I also like just leave a little bit of room for flexibility, and just changing things on the fly and being able to adjust on the fly, because you never know, like you might go down a couple rounds and need to win one back. Your whole style of fight changes. You think a lot of guys are like practice game plans and discipline, and then when the game plan goes wrong, they don't have that ability trained into them to be able to adjust on the fly and make it a little bit like kind of spring something from nothing, create chaos as well. That's a skill in itself. And I try to think about like being put in some of these bad spots in training, and try to think like, I might be down 2 rounds, or I might have been defending a takedown for a couple of rounds. It just, these things just happen, and you have to be ready for that. Like you can't just assume like it's a fight, you can't just assume that everything's going to go your way.
Tell us a little bit about your opponent and what you're expecting from him.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much from my opponent. I know he's very experienced. I think he's had about 14 fights, 10-4. He's had some good wins on his local circuit, and as well as coming into the UFC. Yeah, he's got like from what I'd seen, he's got like an all-round skill set. You know, he can take it to the floor, keep it on the feet. But I think he likes to keep it on the feet from some of the footage I've seen. But yeah, I think he'll probably try, and if he's smart enough, he'll try and mix it up at least. So we'll see what he is. But I'm ready for war.
How's the camp gone?
Yeah, camp's gone pretty smooth. Yeah, it's just going over, just sharpening everything I have, grabbing things from the toolbox that I might need, and applying those to just my training and sparring. And yeah, I think yeah, like this, I'm like pretty used to just being in the camp and dealing with the like small niggles and injuries and overcoming them, staying strong mentally. I think, you know, even with everything's like always like coming in, and sometimes like that can create an anxious environment, like I see it in other fighters. But I just, you know, at the same time, it's all the same. It's just this is no different than my Hicks fight, my Contender Series fight, UFC fight. It's all the same. So yeah.
It's the other side of the world, but you're going to have a little bit of support from home.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So yeah, my old man's coming. My videographer Will, who's been videoing my whole journey since my very first MMA fight on Shuriken, which was 2 years ago, 2022. Yeah, so he's coming, and then my teammate Maynard, who's fighting this weekend on Shuriken, he's coming as well. Yeah, I shout out to Unofficial Wayne for sponsoring his trip as well, and sponsoring me for the camp, just bringing us over there and getting the young guys a bit of a taste, you know, of the UFC and the atmosphere. And yeah, because you know, I have other guys coming up under me now as well. So yeah, it's cool to have a home team coming over for the debut. I feel like it's a special moment for me, and it's going to cap the year off with a bang, you know. So yeah.
Well, it'd be a special moment for all of us at home
Yeah,
watching
yeah,
as well,
bro.
mate.
Nah, yeah, that's it, man. I put the weight of the nation on me. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and you won't let us down, I know that.
Yeah, bro.
Cool, mate.
Sweet.
Thanks for that. Yeah, it's going to be good. Maynard, it'll be a big thing for him.
Yeah. Yes, I said to him, just focused on his fight this weekend, you know.
Yeah. You went away with Izzy and them.
Yep.
Big learning curve.
Yeah. Oh, it put it in my head that it was going to happen, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting out the back warming up with these guys, and I'm like, you know, they're no different than the guys I've seen on my locals team or in our gym, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all the same. It's just getting yourself not so wide-eyed at the moment. Just like it's just like fighting on Shuriken, you know. Or Hicks, like they'll do the same thing. They got the TVs out the back. They got jobs for every little people and whatnot. So yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same. I've familiarised myself with the environment. So yeah, and America as well, because I think the first time I went to America, it was crazy. You know, it was just like I was just tripping out at like the roads, or you know,
everything
so
different.
stuck on everything around me. But now I'm like pretty comfortable.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, that's brilliant, mate.
Awesome.
Oh, well. Thanks for that.